The Guttmacher Institute, which is, of course, a pro-choice organization, has put out a study about the importance of men also joining the fight for reproductive rights. Oftentimes when you hear men talk about abortion, it's usually conservative men that are trying to destroy reproductive rights. But it's important to have liberal men and people who are in favor of the pro-choice movement to come forward and also be warriors for it. So they released some information that I thought was really, really interesting. So let's take a look at the graphic. Around 2/3 of unintended births are mistimed. Okay, so that means that they wanted to have children, but it just came too early.
Yeah.
About 1/3 of births, 1/3 are unwanted.
That's sad.
Over 1 in 10 single fathers had no idea about the pregnancies until after the kid was born, which is unacceptable.
Yeah, what the hell, man?
That is unbelievable.
Well, and then what's most unbelievable is that he's then on the hook financially for the rest of his life, basically.
Yeah, which I don't agree with, by the way.
Yeah.
Something needs to be done. Like, if you are a woman who decides that you want to have that baby and then you're not going to tell the father until after the baby is born, I don't know. There should be, some restrictions on how much money you can ask for. All right, moving on. There are more interesting facts. So non-marital childbearing was more prevalent in Hispanic and Black fathers than in white fathers. Planned births were more prevalent in cohabitating Hispanic fathers than by white or Black. Intended births were more prevalent in single Black fathers than in single white fathers.
Yes.
So lots of really interesting, findings in this Guttmacher study. But I think the most important thing here is to take away the lesson that abortion and reproductive rights do not only benefit women, they also benefit men, because you want to make sure that you are part of the family planning process.
Yeah.
If you don't want to get a woman pregnant, you got to make sure that she has the access to the contraceptives and access to abortion and in a safe, clean environment.
Yeah.
Let me read Dan Solomon's
apologize.
quote, because I think it was a really powerful one. He said, "For every unmarried woman who testified about the pregnancy she was not in a position to see through, there was also a single man who was not ready to become a father. For every married woman who spoke about the life-threatening circumstances of a much-wanted pregnancy that she had to terminate, there was a man who was within a few hastily written laws of losing his wife." I mean, I think that was a really powerful, part of his article, and I think he makes a great point. Don't let the conservative men take charge and take control of that conversation. Liberal men, progressive men, you guys have the power to take control as well, and you should fight for your rights, because you're oftentimes on the hook for laws that conservatives get passed.
No, I do wonder how much women want men to be a part of the conversation. I mean, I'm certain that they want the support, but if men come in and presumably, at least on some aspects of this issue, don't exactly agree with the female position, I wonder if then the women will not be as amenable to them joining the cause.
Well, I would make the argument that since this is an issue that impacts men as well, I think women should be totally accepting of it.
I get that,
but I'm saying?
I kind of feel like what if I come in as a man and I say, I agree with you on A, B, and C, but on D, I think that men should be, if they do such and such, they should be released from legal responsibility or something. Then it seems like the natural response is, well, why are men making decisions about my body? Like, usually it's conservative men, but I feel like eventually it could be liberal men as well.
But if there is a group of men that are fighting for reproductive rights, they are essentially fighting for a woman's right to choose. You see what I'm saying? So I don't really see why women would be against that.
Yeah.
I could see conservative women being against that and saying, I don't want liberal men to tell me that I have a choice. I could totally see conservative women freaking out about that.
I understand that, but not every issue of reproductive rights is a net expansion in some ways. Some might be, for instance, like we've talked about how apparently 1 out of 10 women don't tell the father that they had the kid, and then the guy is on the hook. Well, what about if the girl gets pregnant, she's considering an abortion, and the guy makes clear, look, I am not ready to be a father, I do want you to get an abortion, and she carries through with it. Should he be legally on the hook, financially on the hook for that? The male position for some males might be, look, I made it clear, if we're in a society where we have a choice, well, I'm half of this arrangement, why shouldn't I have a choice as well? And I think some women might oppose men freeing themselves financially from the responsibility of having that child.
Yeah.
And in that case, perhaps women will say, well, maybe I don't want men making decisions when it comes to reproductive choice.